bedroom growing up and still have it now, something your mom made you get rid of or you get to pass down to your younger brother and sister? Why would you still want to keep that thing? And wow, tweet us at GMFB. We'll reveal our answers later on in the show. I think we got some social answers here. Craig Young is saying, my entire set of Pokemon cards, I sold them at a flea market when I was about 12 years old. Those babies are worth something now. Ask my nephews. They won't even let me touch their Pokemon cards. All right, we've got John B saying, I had the NFL bed sheets, all the old logos. Those are probably sweet.
Houston Oilers logo, hell yes.
Heck yes. And on my Star Wars toys, as with most people, my mom gave them away when I left for college. I wonder how many people can relate to that story. I would love if my mom threw away everything from college. Like, instead it's a time capsule, aka an episode of Hoarders. All the things still in the house from when I was little. Okay, time for Will Selva on the West Coast with the news. We would love some tweets on this National Clean Your Room Day. Look, something you can tell your kids this morning.
Absolutely. I tell my kids to clean their rooms all the time, and they don't really listen. So I got to get on their case about doing it. Either way, with the draft now behind us, these draft picks now are looking forward to rookie mini camps. This past weekend, we saw the Jets, the Colts, and the Raiders have theirs. And this week, the rest of the league will see more rookie mini camps. Now, one of the players that we had a chance to get to know is second overall pick Zach Wilson, taking part in the Jets rookie mini camp as he works to learn the playbook and get familiar with his new teammates. In fact, Wilson says he's already spent time studying up on the roster.
I watched Mekhi Becton, of course, and, Elijah Vera Tucker that we just picked up, Michael Carter. I've even watched, a couple of our DB guys with the other Michael Carter and, really just getting a feel for everyone else around me. I've watched Corey Davis highlights and Keelan Cole, Jamison Crowder, all of the studs that we have over here. I've just been, making my way around, and I'm going to keep learning more about all the other guys, just, kind of fill out what makes them unique.
A new era for the Jets, a new era in Indy as well. Quarterback Carson Wentz will look to get his career back on track after a rocky end in Philadelphia. As we all know, he'll be reunited with Colts head coach Frank Reich, who joined the Rich Eisen show and talked about the fresh start for Wentz.
You move teams, you go through what Carson has gone through, and an opportunity like this presents itself. You use it for what it is. It's time to hit the reset button, go back to the basics, the fundamentals, starting at the very beginning. And, you try to discipline yourself to do that as a player every year, no matter what. But it's hard to do once you get things going. But you go through something like this, hey, new team, new beginning. Let's use this to our advantage, Carson. And if you know Carson the way I know him, he's embracing that.
Well, he certainly has to. Reich also went on to say, with all the pieces around him, he thinks that there is a potential for an MVP-type season for Wentz. Obviously, the belief is there, Kay and guys. And remember, they have familiarity with each other from their days in Philadelphia. So a new era in Carson Wentz. Hit that reset button. We'll see what ends up happening.
Just hope it's a new era where he doesn't get sacked 50 times in a single season. That shouldn't be the case in Indianapolis. One of the strengths, one of the main draws of having him there. Yep. Thank you so much, Will. How confident is this breakfast table that Carson Wentz's ability and his talent and his new situation can allow him to hit the reset button this year, Kim?
Well, he went to the right place to do it, right? With Frank 100%. Reich, an organization. Chris Ballard's a terrific GM. He's built that roster really nicely. He's got a nice offensive line in front of him. He's in the right spot. And I remember back, not that it was that long ago, but 2019, although I did just have to look it up.
It happens.
2019, I was covering the Washington Eagles game, Eagles at Washington game. And Greg Ward caught a beautiful touchdown pass from Carson Wentz that meant a lot in that game. Here, I think we're going to see it right here. Good job, guys. Here it is. That's Carson. He's not even under any kind of pressure. And a beautiful touchdown and a great catch by the former Houston quarterback, I believe, Greg Ward. So great job by him that day. I guess and they win the division. Everything seems great. And now we look at where we are, or where we were at least, with Carson and the Eagles. The only worry I have, guys, is the idea that Jalen Hurts bothered him so much. And I don't know what that says about his true level of self-confidence or belief in himself or anything else. He obviously won't have Jalen, in Indianapolis to worry about, but at some point there will be young quarterbacks again. And you certainly hope that, that doesn't, apparently, send him into a spiral that he never got out of.
Yeah, the concern was that Carson Wentz maybe revealed himself that maybe he's not a mental assassin, and that's what he needs to be. I think that if it better work. If it doesn't, you're not going to get a better situation than this ever. And the comfort I take in Carson Wentz is not even, you can look at Indianapolis, sure. I look back at Philly last year. It was an absolute mess. I mean, that team was a disaster. I said the line was terrible, the weapons, whatever. Even the defense wasn't good. And I really mean this. I say this as a child of divorce. I feel like that house was toxic last year in Philly. And they were careening towards a divorce with the head coach and the front office. There's reports of shouting matches between respected players in front. It's just bad. And there's benched and there's Sudfeld. I think that the whole thing was just muck in Philly last year. So not only you get, the line and the running game, like, fresh start, cleanliness, dome, Reich, everything is perfect. But better believe, if Wentz comes out and they're 1-2 and he's shaky, it's like, dude, Carson, what do you need? We can't make this any better for you with the personnel or coaching or anything. So I actually do have confidence because of how good it is and how bad it was last year. But I'm a little worried because if this doesn't work, this thing is unraveling really fast. You can't get a better situation than this. There's no excuses.
I'll be quick. You mentioned offensive line. Last year, Carson Wentz was sacked 50 times.
Yep.
That's the most in the NFL in 2020. But I want to show you how many times that Phillip Rivers was sacked. How about this? The Colts second in the NFL, fewest sacks allowed. And the reason why this is an important stat, Phillip Rivers might have been the slowest quarterback in all. He might be slower than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And yet and still he was able to sit in that pocket, get the ball out of his hands. And Phillip Rivers also was last in the league in getting outside of the pocket with his legs. So imagine having a pocket quarterback at that age sitting back and still being able to keep him clean. I do feel like a big part of the success for this Colts offense and the big part of the reinvention of who Carson Wentz is staying clean and upright and not having to panic in the pocket. That offensive line is really going to help him.
I wasn't exaggerating when I said 50. He was sacked 50 times last year. You want to know who was sacked more than him? Nobody. You want to know how many games Carson Wentz played? 12. In 12 games, he was still sacked more than any quarterback in the National Football League. It was a mess. I'm glad that they benched him so he didn't have to face that, whatever's going on with him. And to me, all I need to know is that Frank Reich brought him in. Why, if you're Frank Reich and you don't believe in this quarterback, don't think he has what it takes, and it wasn't the situation, whether it was toxic, whether there wasn't talent, whatever, you don't bring Carson Wentz to your new job. You don't do it. He did it. He's banking on him, putting his name on him. I'm excited